The Brazilian judiciary faces a significant workload, leading to lengthy process durations. To address this challenge, the Brazilian National Council of Justice has established formal guidance for document and process digitalization, opening up the possibility of using automatic techniques to aid in everyday tasks in the legal field. Artificial intelligence (AI) techniques can process and extract useful information from textual data, potentially speeding up the process. However, datasets from the legal domain required by several AI techniques are scarce and difficult to obtain due to the need for labels from experts. This article contributes to the field by providing 4 datasets from the legal domain, focusing on semantic textual similarity to support similar document retrieval. 2 datasets, TCU votes and STJ judgments, contain texts and metadata without annotations, while the other 2, TCU votes for textual semantic similarity and STJ judgments for textual semantic similarity, were generated using a heuristic proposed in this article to annotate documents that are similar to each other. A small ground truth dataset was generated from domain expert annotations to evaluate the effectiveness of the proposed heuristic label process. The analysis of ground truth labels highlights that semantic analysis of domain text can be challenging even for domain experts. The comparison between ground truth and heuristic labels shows that heuristic labels are useful. The paper presents 4 datasets for Portuguese legal semantic textual similarity, specifically tailored for the Brazilian legal system. The datasets are divided into 2 subsets: TCU votes and STJ decisions corpora, and Ulysses NER BR dataset. These datasets consist of texts of judgments and votes, which cover the main points of discussions, and include precedents of jurisprudence used by the bodies. The graphs presented in the paper explore the composition of the datasets. The paper also proposes an automatic process based on a heuristic derived from the metadata of the texts to annotate the datasets for the semantic textual similarity (STS) task. This process alleviates the need for human annotators, which is particularly important given the complexity and domain-specific nature of the datasets. The annotation process involves generating pairs of texts and scores associated with their semantic similarity, which can be used to train models for the STS task. Here is a combined summary of pages 58. The Portuguese legal semantic textual similarity datasets presented on pages 5 and 6 provide a comprehensive analysis of textual similarity within the context of legal documents, focusing on understanding the semantic relationships between various legal matters and their nature in decision-making processes in both the Supreme Court (STJ) and the Brazilian Court of Audit (TCU). The figures illustrate the distribution of precedent judgments and votes across different legal matters, highlighting the prevalence of certain areas such as administrative disciplinary processes, consumer rights, environmental law, and criminal law. The histograms showcase the frequency of words related to specific legal matters in both STJ decisions and TCU votes, demonstrating the prominence of certain terms and concepts within each jurisdiction. The summaries of precedents from the TCU and STJ decisions offer insight into the types of cases being handled by these institutions, covering a wide range of topics. This compilation serves as a valuable resource for researchers seeking to understand the legal landscape in Brazil and develop more effective tools for textual analysis in this domain. The authors propose a heuristic-based approach to annotate datasets for Portuguese legal semantic textual similarity tasks on pages 7 and 8. They generate pairs of decisions from the same jurisprudence, nature, and matters, assigning scores with base values plus a noise following a normal distribution. The datasets are divided into training, validation, and testing sets, holding the proportion of pairs per similarity interval. To evaluate the effectiveness of the heuristic, expert annotators label document pairs using a Likert scale, and the results show a high level of divergence between annotators. The authors investigate the correlation between divergent labels using Pearson, Spearman, and Krippendorff's alpha coefficients, finding a positive correlation but with a low level of concordancy. The authors present a dataset for Portuguese legal semantic textual similarity, focusing on the divergence in annotation behavior among domain experts. They provide 2 example documents that demonstrate the complexity of legal text analysis, highlighting nuances in procedural issues and appeal grounds. A third domain expert is consulted, attributing a label of little similar due to a shared procedural issue, but emphasizing the fundamental differences in appeal grounds. The authors investigate the relevance of text portion positions in determining the likelihood of being a highlight in a document, finding that these positions are irrelevant. They also examine the distribution of domain expert labels, revealing that the majority are not related between documents, followed by a little similar. This suggests that the heuristic dataset can minimally distinguish some relation similarity and dissimilarity of texts. The authors calculate Pearson and Spearman correlations and Krippendorff's alpha using labels from the heuristic and ground truth datasets, indicating a moderate positive correlation between the heuristic and ground truth. They analyze the self-confidence of domain experts in their annotations, finding a mean confidence of 3.28 with a variance of 0.93 and standard deviation of 0.96. The datasets generated and analyzed during the study are available online, along with the source code used. The paper proposes a heuristic for automatically annotating datasets for the semantic textual similarity task in the legal domain, contributing 2 heuristic-labeled datasets. An exploratory analysis of these sets reveals that specific domain annotation of semantic textual similarity can generate relevant divergences in labeling between domain experts, making the automation process more challenging. A comparison between heuristic labels and ground truth labels indicates that the heuristic process can be used with moderate confidence on the generated labels. The paper references various studies on semantic textual similarity, including the work by Sear et al. 2017, and research on reliability in content analysis, such as Krippendorff, 2004, and statistical methods for behavioral sciences, as discussed in Evans, 1996, and Altman, 1990. The datasets proposed in this paper provide opportunities to evaluate unsupervised methods for legal document retrieval and adapt and generate machine learning models for the Portuguese legal semantic textual similarity task. These datasets can be utilized to advance research in natural language processing, particularly in the legal domain, where semantic textual similarity is a critical component of information retrieval and text analysis.